The African community needs to stop prepping young girls for marriage and motherhood. Because why is it that as a young girl, my whole life is ahead of me, but the only thing that I'm being prepped for is to be a mother, to have babies, and to get married? Yeah, because what you are doing is that when your child is born, of course, and you start prepping them for marriage, or if you wear this, then a man won't like you. If you behave like this, then a man won't like you. Blah blah. Blah. You are teaching them that their worth and their whole existence is because of a man. You are teaching them that their worth lies in a man marrying them. You are teaching them that they exist for men to marry. Okay, because I have my whole life ahead of me. There are so many other things that I can do. There are so many other things that I can accomplish, but the only thing that I'm being prepped for is marriage, motherhood, and cooking and cleaning. Yo, I realized I was cooked when I stepped into the real world for university. I realized I was done because the only thing I knew how to do was cooking and cleaning, because that's all that I did. Learning how to cook and clean is not enough. Okay, because I was kept in the house. I barely went out. I barely spoke to anyone. I was scared to approach people. I was scared to ask for people for what I wanted. I was scared to put myself out there because my whole life I lived like a caged bird. I had no social skills. I would say that I had social anxiety. I didn't know how to question authority. I couldn't live. I didn't have any people skills. I didn't have any leadership skills. I didn't have any communication skills. None of that. All that I knew how to do was cooking and cleaning and being a people pleaser. Which is all that I did in my parents' house. We have to stop prepping young girls for marriage and start telling them that their worth lies in themselves. Their worth does not lie in a man completing them. Okay? You don't need a man to complete you. You're already complete. And I think this is the sort of situation that occurs to the result list, whereby after all her success, after all the money that she has, after all the influence that she had, I feel like deep down she still like wanted a man. Deep down she still wanted a family. Deep down she still wanted someone to love her. And I think that is one of the reasons why she fell for London. And even though people are saying that, oh, she left him the moment she found out that she was cheating, she left. Even though that's the case, she still got God. Okay, she still got God. Now I'll link a video right here whereby I solely spoke about the Rizali situation, whereby I said things like, the moment you decide to sign up to be with a man, these are some of the things that you're signing up for. You're signing up for the cheating, you're signing up for the emotional abuse, you're signing up for the unexpected. And sometimes you don't have to go through something to know that this is exactly what will happen if you get into the same situation. Okay, me for instance, I don't have to get into a relationship with a guy to know that this is what they do. I don't have to engage with a guy to know that they cheat. I don't have to engage with a guy to know that they beat up women. Sometimes just learn from other people's mistake. And yo, I'm gonna show you this video that I saw from the result list that just made me so, yo, this video made me so sad. I'm gonna show it to you. I didn't meet Landon, guys, I would have been single for the rest of my life. I didn't meet Landon, guys, I would have been single for the rest of my life, probably. I would not have dated at all. No, for sure. Especially, I didn't want people to say, like, I dated her or whatever. So, yeah, I was like, no. I feel like when you're famous, it's automatically harder to, like, trust people and date people, because they're always, like, yeah, because they always can, like, dating and say, like, oh, stuff against you. Yeah. Or sometimes they just want to date you just to say, oh, I did it with yours and just use you, you know? So I don't trust people like that. Yeah, me neither. So if it wasn't Landman, it would have been no one. You would have seen me with no one. You're doing a good job. Thank you. Yo, when I saw this video on my timeline today, I was so sad. If I didn't meet Landon, guys, I would have been single for the rest of my life. What do you mean by if you didn't meet London, you would have been single for the rest of your life? Yo, see, Like, this is what happens here when the core of your emotions, when the core of your self-worth is deep rooted in when you find a man, when the core of your happiness has been indoctrinated, has been conditioned to think that you need a man to fulfill you, to think that, to put men on the pedestal. Because what she said right there, she's putting men on the pedestal.
If I didn't meet Landon, guys, I would have been single for the rest of my life.
What do you mean by if you didn't meet this specific person, you would have been single for the rest of your life? No. No. You could have had more people. Okay? So this is the reason why it's highly important not to teach girls self-worth, not to teach women's self-esteem, not to base women's whole existence and the depth of their emotions in finding a man. Because if that's the case, no matter how successful a woman is, no matter how much money a woman has, deep down she might still feel worthless because she doesn't have a man. Deep down she might still feel the need to have a man due to some conditioning that occurred to her in her childhood, due to the women in her life in her early years that conditioned her to surround her life around men, that conditioned her to be a pick-me. And these same situations have occurred to other celebrities as well, yeah? Like, no matter how rich and famous you are, if you don't work through your trauma and you condition yourself from male validation and you condition yourself from male-centered idealness, this is how it's gonna occur. This is what's gonna happen. Okay? So the moment you are born as a woman, you are basically prepped your whole life for a man. You are prepped your whole life for a husband. You are told to keep your virginity for your husband. Which just doesn't make sense to me, because is he keeping himself for you? So as you are being prepped to become a wife your whole life, what's he doing? What's he being told? He's been allowed to go rampant. He's been around to walk about in the community. Boys will be boys. There are certain things that he's allowed to do, but you can't do it simply because you were born a woman. Simply because your crime is being born a woman. You can't talk to boys. What if your future husband is watching? Meanwhile, your future husband is out there becoming a baby daddy. Your future husband is out there getting women pregnant, forcing women to have abortion. He's out there having sex festivals. But you can't do the same because you're a woman. Yeah? And the same guy that goes around sleeping with tens and tens of women wants his wife to be a virgin. How pathetic. What a hypocrite. Stop prepping young girls for marriage and tell them to live for themselves. If I have a daughter, yeah, her entire self-worth, her entire self-esteem, her entire existence will not be surrounded upon men, will not be surrounded around men. Okay? I don't want to raise a daughter who has to change her character and shift herself just because an XY predator is around. Very soon, yeah, I'll be creating a video on how my father turned me into a pick-me idiot, okay? You wanna say an idiot, yeah? Not an idiot, an idiot. I'll be uploading that very soon, so watch out for that. And now I've deconstructed myself out of it, obviously, but very soon I'll be uploading that video. If I decide to have a daughter in the future, I don't want her to change her behavior or change her dress because an XY predator is around. I don't want her to feel like she has to speak a certain way or walk a certain way or dress a certain way or do certain hairstyles or speak a certain way, all because of a man. I don't want her to be modest because of a man. I would want her to have her own identity. I would want her to be proud of being a woman. I wouldn't tell her that she needs to get married. I wouldn't tell her that her life was gonna go, oh, you go to school, you get married, you have babies, because that's what I was told. And I hated hearing it. Constantly hearing that made me hate my life. Oh, you go to school, you marry, and you have babies. When did I tell you that I wanted to marry? When did I tell you that I wanted to have kids? In fact, did you ask me if I wanted to have kids or get married or not? But it's like I'm expected to. It's like I'm supposed to because I'm a woman. No. Stop prepping young girls for marriage and allow them to be kids. Okay? Stop prepping them for marriage and stop parentifying them. Yeah? You don't want your 8-year-old daughter to get pregnant, but she's taking care of her siblings. If your daughter is not ready to have a baby, she should not be taking care of any baby. You have so many kids, the kids are taking care of each other. The kids are missing their childhood to take care of the other kids. No one is fulfilled in the house. No one is happy in the house. Stop prepping young girls for marriage. Stop telling young girls they need to cook so they can cook for their husband. Meanwhile, the husband doesn't have to learn how to cook because his wife will cook for him. What nonsense. Cooking and cleaning are basic life skills that everyone must learn. If you don't know how to cook or clean, that's on you. Okay? And these are the sort of upbringing that has been given to us in the African community because I'm African, that's the only community I can speak from. But this is a sort of upbringing that have been given to us in the African community to the extent that when you meet a man, he is asking you to come and cook for him. In fact, he's telling you to cook and clean for him because that's what he has been told. Because his entire life he's been told that, oh, you don't have to learn how to cook, your wife will cook for you, your wife will clean for you, your wife will wash your clothes. So now he thinks every woman out there is supposed to do those things unconditionally, automatically. How dare you ask me that stupid question? Can you cook? Can you cook? Can you cook? Okay? Stop telling young girls that they need to dress a certain way so they can attract a man. Because when you prep young girls for marriage, when you groom young girls for men, yeah, like it has so many consequences, okay? And one of the consequences is that you prep them for abuses. Okay, because you surround the entire resistance around men, you surround the entire mannerisms around men, you surround the entire identity around men. Your daughter then grow up thinking that she's meant to please men, that everything she's doing is meant to make men happy because that's what happened to me.
And it's very dangerous.
Okay? That is literally what happened to me. You are grooming them to think that they are meant to please men, they are meant to serve men, they are here for men, they're here to make men's lives easier. So in that scenario, you make it easier for predators to prey on her. And this is some of the reason why so many young girls end up being groomed by predators. They end up being unalived by predators because you, the parent, you are prepping your daughters for those predators. And I'm not saying that as an excuse for predators. I'm not saying that as something to excuse their behavior. But when you grow up in such family that prioritize male validation and male attention seeking, you groom praise for the predators. That's what happens. Okay? Another consequences that occurs is that your daughter thinks that their whole worth, that their whole existence, that their whole purpose on earth is to find a man. Okay, this is the reason why so many women out here are choosing to get married, are choosing to find a husband instead of going after a career, instead of chasing their dreams, instead of literally doing any other thing on this earth aside from wanting to get married. And when you do that, yeah, this is one of the effects that it creates. When you do that, it creates desperation in women. It happened to me, y'all.
Hello everyone, just to chip in here very quickly. I was around the age of 20 when I realized that I was in fact way too young to be desperate, yeah. I remember when I had all this stress, all this pressure, all this desperation within me, I sat down and I said to myself, wait, I am way too young. Like, I have my whole life ahead of me. 20 is way too young to be desperate for a man. Like, where is all this pressure coming from? Who is pushing me to do this? And then I realized that all that stuff was coming from home. I realized that all that stuff stemmed from my upbringing. So then I realized that and got rid of it.
Literally, like everything that I say on this channel is based on my experiences and the effect that it had on me growing up. And after I came into the outside world, I realized I was cooked. Cooking and cleaning is not enough for you to make it in life. Okay? It creates desperation in you. Okay, and when you're growing up here, you're being told, oh, you have to hurry up and marry. You have to marry like under 24. You have to marry. What if no man finds you? You have to have your kids by 25. So and so. If you're 30 years old, no man will marry you. Men like younger women. There's so much pressure and stigma around young girls getting married, and it creates this form of desperation in you that lands you in the wrong hands. Okay, this is the reason why so many girls end up in abusive relationship that they can't get out of because they don't know any better due to the pressure that is being given to them at home. Like I always say, everything that occurs in your adult life, every decision that you make in your adult life has a direct link to your childhood. Every single thing has a direct link to your childhood. Whether your career, how you view the world, has a direct link to your childhood. For me, now I'm speaking up on here based on what happened in my childhood. Okay, it creates this sense of desperation of, oh, I need a man, I need to find a man. What if no man wants me? What if no? And when they are teaching you to find husbands, they don't teach you about self-worth. They don't teach you about standards. Every single thing that they teach you is for males' pressure. Literally every single thing that you are taught is to please males. And very soon I'll be uploading a video as to how women have sex with men for pleasure they don't get. Okay, so watch out for that video very soon because I have a lot to say on that one, yeah. And like it's even funny to me, yeah. Like women have sex with men for pleasure that they don't get. Okay, so watch out for that video. But yeah, it creates this sense of desperation in you. I need to marry. I need to find a husband. What if no man wants me? Like what if? Oh, if I find this, let me take it like that. No. They don't teach you about standards. Yeah? And how can you even have standards if you don't know who you are? They don't teach you about self-discovery. They don't teach you about self-mastery. Your entire life, you're supposed to get married and have kids. Oh, how many kids do you want when you grow up? Not who I want to be in life, or not if I want to travel, not what's my favorite color, not the hairstyle I want for next week. How many kids do I want to have when I grow up?
And teen pregnancy surprises
Oh,
them.
you should have a boy because boys. No, I saw a man because a man my dear and a man my dear and I didn't. Okay, and it gives you low self-esteem, yeah, because you are being told and men are scarce into no unye bia na wasumi. Me na make so be mo.
This leads to women blaming
I'm the one
themselves
going
for
to
men cheating.
secure someone. I'm not going to secure the bag on a man. And then man might do a moon pay weight. And then what about what I don't like? Oh, men don't like this. Men don't like that. Men are like children. It's something my mother told me actually. In fact, thank you for telling me because I don't want to take care of children. Men are like children. If you get one, take it like that. With no standards. It gives you low self-esteem, and one of the most important one that I want to shine light on is I've already mentioned that it grooms you for predators because you are being told unye be a fanisa, because you are being told if you get something take it like that. You're being told it's better for you to have a man than no man, and then you end up with a deadbeat. You're with a deadbeat that don't take care of you and your children because you're told if you get one take it like that because men are scarce. What rubbish. Okay? Because as a young girl, yeah, there's so much things you can achieve in this world instead of wanting to get married. And another effect that this whole desperation and this whole conditioning creates is that it makes you a scum for romance, okay? Yeah? Because growing up, you're being groomed for your husband, you are being groomed for your dream wedding, or you're being groomed to want a Prince Charming, men use that want against us as women, okay? Because I've heard men say things like, oh, well, as a girl growing up, they want to have their dream wedding, they want to have their dream man, they want to have their dream this, so just do that for them and sleep with them. Okay? It creates an unrealistic expectations. They don't teach us about the real nature of men. They don't teach us about that. Just, go and get married. When will you marry? When will you give me grandkids? So and so. They don't teach you about the real nature of men. They just want to push you in there. They push you in there. Oh, when are you giving us children? You will give birth to one child. Or when are you having another one? You have another one. They are both girls. When are you having a son? Shut up. If I get married, no one should ask me those nonsense. Okay? It makes you like, this is one of the reasons why romance scams, romance scams is one of the biggest in the world. Because these wants and desires that are created within us from childhood leads us to being a scam for romance. Leads us to being bait for romance. Because girls want to be loved. Deep down, girls want a man to stand next to them. If I marry him, giving her a social status. Because of that desire, because of that fictional desire, I'm like, think about it. Is this something that you really want? Or is something that has been created in you to want? Okay, do you really want to get married? Do you really want kids, or you've been made to want kids? Do you really like men, or you've been conditioned to like men? I think that's the case, okay? And I think of it the same way as the products that are pushed in front of us, especially on TikTok. There's always a new trendy product in town, and when you end up wanting a specific thing, it's because it has been pushed in front of you so much to the extent that you start having FOMO, fear of missing out. So then you want to get one so you can show off to people that you have one, or you want to get one so that people can see you with it. So when it comes to these desires, do you really want them, or it has been created and instilled in you to want them? There are so many other things that you can do. Okay, you don't have to marry. Like, you can live life by yourself. It's not mandatory. But the way how it's pushed in front of you, the way how it's implanted in your mind, makes it seem like it's mandatory. And even if it's something that you want to do not do it under 26 years old. Wait till your frontal lobe develops before you get into any form of serious relationships, or before you want to start getting married and having kids. In fact, under 35 even. Teenage pregnancy is under 35 years old in my opinion. So stop prepping young girls for marriage and tell them to live life for themselves. We are not here because of men. Okay, live life for yourself. Stop wanting males' attention. Stop wanting males' validation. Your worth, your happiness does not lie in a man. You don't need a man to complete you. You're already complete. You don't need a man to fulfill you. Okay, because the moment you have that need of wanting a man, the moment you have that need of wanting a boyfriend, the moment you put men on pedestal, like the moment you start seeing men as something, you will get. Okay, and the result is she got. Okay, she got. And until you're able to deconstruct these ideas, until you're able to decolonize your mind, you will continue to get. And you might not even be knowing where this is stemming from or why it's happening, but go back to your childhood and analyze the kind of indoctrination that you received, analyze the kind of conditioning that you received, analyze the kind of upbringing that you received. It's definitely stemming from there. And it also stems from other institutions, the family, religion, education, media, cultural. Women do not exist for the pleasure of men. Okay? Young girls, ladies, women, live life for yourself. Stop prepping young girls for marriage. Leave them alone.